Now on CoastTV News.
Teen charged in massive wildfire, what we're learning about the Garden State blaze. Parking price debate talks continue in Fenwick Island as the start of the paid parking season is right around the corner. Spring Fest in full swing, a look at day one of the festivities in Ocean City and the dollars it brings in for vendors.
The weekend's on a dry and mild note for Delmarva, then showers likely for Saturday, improving conditions Sunday and cooler. Complete forecast details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour. And we're now going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey for a look at our Friday morning forecast. Bob, a little cooler this morning, but we are coming off of a beautiful Thursday afternoon.
Good morning to you, Elisa. Indeed, Thursday afternoon was really nice. And of course, yesterday was really chilly. We had low 40s, a little warmer this morning, but still lots of 40s showing up out the door this morning, waking up to 45 in Willards, 47 in Millsboro, Georgetown 48, 49 in Seaford, a little milder at the beaches, 57 Ocean City and 58 in Bethany Beach and Rehoboth right now. Winds are light, but the tendency is out of the south, and those winds will warm us up as we go through today. Right now we're looking at, we'll call it mostly clear skies, some mid to high level clouds floating through, high pressure still hanging on. So that'll give us one last nice day today as we see fair skies across the East Coast. But then we're looking at clouds and showers back to the west. And I think those will move in very late tonight into tomorrow. And it looks like a soggy start to the weekend. So here's Futurecast this morning at 6 a.m. We're into the upper 40s. So it's pretty chilly, and then 50s at the coast. And we're looking at some wispy high clouds from time to time mid-morning with 60s inland, cooler for the coast. By noon, really nice. Mid-60s Millsboro, 77 Salisbury, Seaford 76, but cooler at the beaches. And then by mid-afternoon, 80 in Seaford, so areas like US 13, it's going to be very warm there. 113 looking at mid-70s around Millsboro, 79 in Allendale, but 60 in Rehoboth, and maybe even some cooler 50s as we have a southeast breeze through the evening hours, bringing in a little bit more in the way of moisture. Here's your day part forecast. Calm winds this morning with a mix of sun and clouds, and then into the afternoon we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. A soggy start to the weekend. Otherwise, we're looking at a drier end to the weekend. I'll have much more in your forecast coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. We have an update on the devastating wildfire in New Jersey. A teenager is accused of starting that wildfire that has scorched more than 15,000 acres. Jason Kling is charged with arson, and investigators say the 19-year-old set wooden pallets on fire and left that area before the flames were fully out. The Jones Road fire has burned more than 15,000 acres and resulted in roughly 5,000 evacuations. And today marks 4 years since Delmar Police Corporal Keith Heacook was attacked in the line of duty. It happened while he was responding to a fight in progress. He was beaten and then taken to a shock trauma center in Baltimore with significant head injuries. Ultimately, he was taken off of life support. The man convicted of killing him, Randon Wilkerson, was sentenced to multiple life sentences in 2023. It's important to note that the Delaware Supreme Court has denied an appeal for Wilkerson. Now, Heacook Fest is held in April every year to honor the life of the fallen officer.
Heath loved everybody. He always ran into danger, not away from it. And that laugh is one thing we'll all never forget.
Heacook Fest features live music, fun activities, and raises money for nonprofits Operation We Care and Behind the Lines. It takes place today at 5 p.m. in Delmar. And happening today in Fenwick Island, discussion and possible action on parking rates in the town. This is taking place at this morning's town council meeting. According to the agenda, officials will review hourly and daily rates. The Finance Committee has been discussing a proposal to decrease their seasonal pass prices for certain businesses. This is to help employees park closer to where they work. Council members will gather at 11 a.m. And in Bethany Beach, town officials will gather, according to the agenda. A vote to approve the purchase of a new vehicle for the police department could take place. Also, officials are considering allowed exercise classes on the beach during the summer season. And there will be a special election on May 24th. Voters will decide whether or not to borrow money for construction of a new water clarifier. And happening today in Dewey Beach, an expected groundbreaking for the town's new council building. Officials say that new building will be 3 stories with 3 different departments on each floor, including Dewey's police force, Sussex County EMS, and all of the town's meetings. It will be just feet away from the current town hall and there will be a 3-story building. The EMS garage will fill the old town hall location, and people we spoke with in Dewey Beach and the town manager say EMS coming to the town is going to be a game changer.
Public safety, and part of that is having the EMS Sussex County paramedics in this project stationed here in Dewey Beach instead of all the way out on Plantation Road at Midway. Response time would be cut down dramatically during the summer.
I think it's important to have them locally everywhere. Like, just because emergencies are emergencies, they shouldn't take forever.
And Dewey says between the state and county, they are getting $5 million in grants, and the town has over $2 million in reserves, which would go towards that project. Zolper tells us that people that live in the town will not have to pay any extra taxes for this future building. And this just in, Delawareans who wish to work with marijuana now have to undergo background checks. This after Governor Matt Meyer has signed House Bill 110 into law. According to the bill, this includes people who want to work in, own, or help operate a licensed marijuana business. Governor Meyer says with the new law, Delaware will align with federal standards. And happening now, this year's Spring Fest is open for business in Ocean City. The large crowds of people means one thing for many food vendors at Spring Fest: long lines and hungry customers, which leads to plenty of action in front of the grill. And one food truck owner says the festival's popularity, the good weather, and live music creates the perfect combination for a busy and successful day.
It's a roll of the dice what we're going to get in Ocean City this time of year. And historically it's been a little scary. So for us, yeah, we're happy to wake up and see the sun shine, you know, the people flowing. It's working out nicely.
And if you want to check out all of the cool things at Springfest, you will have time, as Springfest will last until Sunday, April 27th. And Things to Know and Always Stop is coming to Georgetown. You can see this location right here on your screen. It's the intersection of Pettyman Road and Pettyjohn Road. Deldet says work to convert this two-way stop into an always stop begins May 12th at 9 a.m. This will include installing new signs and pavement markings. Work is expected to wrap up at 3 p.m.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
The NFL Draft continues today. In the first round, we saw Baltimore, Washington, and Philadelphia all add to their rosters. The Ravens, with the 27th pick, chose Malachi Starks as a safety. With the 29th pick, the Washington Commanders chose Josh Connerly as an offensive tackle. And the 2025 Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, traded up to be the 31st pick, switching with Kansas City. The Eagles chose Jahad Campbell as a linebacker. And we are now taking a live look at the Vatican. As you can see this morning, people continue to file past the coffin of Pope Francis inside St. Peter's Basilica. Today is the final day of public viewing ahead of tomorrow's funeral and burial services. NBC's Jay Gray shows us how the solemn ceremonies will be much like the man himself, simple, understated, and focused on the Catholic faith.
Tens of thousands have filed past his simple wooden casket, including the family of Pope Francis, kneeling, emotional during their visit. Thousands more wait in lines that stretch past preparations for his funeral, the beginnings of a stage and altar on the steps of St. Peter's Basilica, video screens for the large crowds expected to spill out of the square during Saturday's service.
It's a special liturgy specifically for the death of a pope. And towards the end, there is known what is known as the commendation and the final farewell, where there'll be a series of prayers over the coffin.
Wishing to be remembered as a shepherd and disciple and not a powerful man of this world, Francis chose to be buried outside of Vatican City at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, the first pope laid to rest there since the 17th century.
I think it's not a mere historical decision. It's much more than that. It speaks about his humility. It's about how much he wants to trust himself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary.
He'll be buried in a nook next to his favorite icon of the Holy Mother, saying in his testament, the tomb should be in the ground, simple, without particular ornamentation, bearing only the inscription, Franciscus. Jay Gray, NBC News, at the Vatican.
Pope Francis called St. Mary Major his favorite Roman Catholic church, visiting after all of his overseas trips and more than 100 times during his 12 years as Pope. And we still have a lot more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News today. Coming up, more stores at Seaford Business will show you the progress of the city's Nylon Shopping Center. And Worcester County makes history. We'll tell you all about its new public schools superintendent. And no more Nintendos. We'll tell you why no obstacle proved too big for sales for the company's Switch 2. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
It is 5:12 on this cooler Friday morning. 52 in Milford right now. We've got dry pavement and mostly clear skies. So you see temperatures in the mid to upper 40s inland areas. 45 in Willards, Millsboro 47, Georgetown 48, 56 in Ocean City, 55 Indian River Inlet. Little milder at the beaches. Light winds, but the tendency is out of the south as we're looking at mostly clear skies right now. Some mid to high level clouds, not dealing with the smoke anymore as our flow is more out of the south and west, but we're looking at a dry day before the rain builds in as we go into your Saturday. Here's your drivecast for this morning. I gave it the green light, looking pretty good, dry and cool out there with dry roads and good visibility. And then for the PM commute, also looking good, gave it the green light there too with mild and breezy conditions.
Thank you, Bob. If you have prescriptions you no longer have a use for, this Saturday, April 26th, locations all across Delmarva are participating in National Drug Take-Back Day. This includes the Milton Police Department, the Rehoboth Beach Police Department, and Maryland State Police Barracks in Salisbury and Berlin. Each location says people can drop off unneeded medications from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And new this morning, Salisbury will host a budget workshop next week for locals to learn more about the fiscal year 2026 budget. According to officials, there will be a discussion on the budget as well as an overview of that fee schedule. This is set to take place Monday, April 28th at 5:30, and it'll be located at the government office building. And the price of Nintendo's upcoming console, a lot of people complained, doesn't seem to have slowed it down. Pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 went live Thursday, and already retailers including Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, and Target are sold out. The $450 console hits shelves June 5th, and it's not known to how many will be available to purchase for people who didn't pre-order. And according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the Golden State's gross domestic product reached $4.1 billion last year. That means it surpassed Japan to become the fourth largest economy in the entire world. Only the U.S. as a whole, China and Germany have bigger economies.
We're seeing mainly clear, quiet conditions across Delmarva, including Lewis on the Irish Eyes Cam. Look at the canal. It just looks like glass. We're looking at some high clouds in the 50s and eventually 60s this morning as we're looking at a mild end to the week and then a soggy start to the weekend for Saturday, but improving conditions Sunday and a little cooler. I'll have your full forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:17, and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. And Bob, it is a quiet, calm scene in Lewis. A little cool this morning when I walked out to my car. And today we've got that DSN Outdoor Expo. It kicks off this afternoon. I think everyone attending wants to know what the weather will be like when they attend.
Yeah, we're looking great, Elisa, for day one of the DSN Outdoors Expo. It's day two that you'll need the rain gear. But let's start with today. It starts at 3 p.m. in Harrington at the fairgrounds, and we're looking at nice conditions. In fact, upper 70s. Make sure you bring water, stay hydrated, and dress for the warmer weather. We'll see a southeasterly breeze with a mix of sun and clouds, and then naturally cooling down as we go into the evening, into the upper 60s by about 8 p.m. Now, the flip side, we're looking at some showers tomorrow. It won't be raining all the time, but showers late morning into the afternoon hours. But at least it'll be mild, with temperatures warming through the 70s into the upper 70s. There's a chance of some rumbles of thunder too, so just keep that in mind and have the Coast TV weather app to keep you informed. Temperatures out the door this morning, a little cool, not as chilly as yesterday. 45 Salisbury, 48 in Georgetown, Longneck, 46 Millsboro, 46 Harrington, 47 as they prepare for the Outdoors Expo. 50s at the beaches from Lewis down to Ocean City right now. The winds are calm, but the tendency is out of the south as high pressure is beginning to slide away. Here's our satellite picture. We're seeing some mid to high level clouds, but Good commuting weather this morning. The roads are dry as we're looking at high pressure still hanging on for one more day. You can see the fair skies from the Mid-Atlantic region up into the New York area. But then we move to the west. You can see showers now across the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio Valley, and even farther to the west as well. And eventually this will win out. This will push the high offshore. We'll see the clouds increasing, and then that shower chance increases late tonight as a front farther to the west eventually heads our way as we go into your Saturday. Futurecast this morning, we're looking at some mid to high level clouds, otherwise 40s, quickly warm into the 60s away from the coast by mid-morning, 50s at the beaches by noon. Pretty pleasant, mid to upper 70s inland areas, but 50s and 60s at the beaches. Perhaps 80 in Seaford by this afternoon, 78 in Georgetown, a little cooler at the coast. And then into this evening, might need that jacket as you head out for this evening along the beaches as we're looking at 50s, more of an onshore flow. Maybe a little bit of fog, but increasing clouds through the overnight keeps it on the mild side. And then a southerly breeze gets going tomorrow morning, and we're going to see some showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder as we go through the morning hours. Very mild, 60s and 70s, and it's those hit and miss showers as we go through the morning and into the afternoon hours. Could get a little break as we head into tomorrow evening. That could percolate the atmosphere a little bit ahead of the cold front, which could bring some heavier rain and rumbles of thunder. Not expecting severe weather Saturday evening, but keep an eye to the sky for some storms, and then the winds start to pick up out of the northwest, and it gets cooler into Sunday. We're starting out in the mid 40s, and then as we go into the afternoon, it will be cooler. I'm thinking mid to maybe some upper 60s later in the day, and definitely feeling cooler with the breeze. Not a lot of rain on the way, maybe about 1/10 to about 2/10 of an inch of rain. And then Sunday through Tuesday, we're looking at sunshine with blue skies, highs into the 70s and 80s, and feeling like summer by the middle part of next week. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 78 today, partly cloudy skies, and very mild tomorrow morning, 61, and then hit and miss showers on Saturday. Not a complete washout, but you'll need to keep the umbrella handy, 79, but then it's back to 68 on Sunday. A little cooler as we dip into the 40s both Sunday and Monday morning. Mild to start next week, lower 70s Monday, close to 80 Tuesday. Here comes the summer warmth, and then a chance of a few showers on Wednesday, 84, and then cooling down again on Thursday. And congratulations to Gwen Davis from Selbyville on winning a brand new umbrella courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Worcester County Public Schools makes history as it announces its new leader. Her name is Annette Wallace, and Thursday she was named the next superintendent of Worcester County Schools, and she is the first female to ever hold this position. Wallace is definitely a veteran, though, 22 years with Worcester County Schools, and currently is the high school level Chief Safety and Academic Officer.
I want every student to stay on grade level when it comes to reading and math, and when our students get to high school, I want every student to be college and career ready by grade 10. And then college readiness is extremely important to me, but career readiness is equally as important.
Dr. Wallace is a lifelong resident of Worcester County and graduated from WCPS. She replaces Lou Taylor, who's retiring after 41 years with the district. And more to come this morning on Coast TV News. More stores at a Seaford business will tell you what you can expect at the Nylon Shopping Center. Don't go anywhere. A once run-down shopping center is coming back to life one business at a time in Sussex County. Community Bank Delaware has now opened a new Seaford branch at the Nylon Capital Center. It is the first tenant to move in and operate there. The rest of that center is still a work in progress as crews work to clear debris and restore buildings. But Seaford officials say it is still on track to be completed next year.
We're glad to have Community Bank be part of our community, but we're even more excited to see this first tenant actually here. I mean, as we know, the project itself, since the announcement, has taken some time, but that's with anything, all the processes, the procedures, permits, all the stuff that you just don't see anything happening.
City officials say a behavioral therapy center for children with autism is next on the list to move in and open in that Seaford Center. And today and Saturday, head over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoors Expo. Today it will run from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Bob, you are predicting a very pleasant day today. If you're planning to go outside, brace yourself for that pollen. I know I'm struggling with my allergies.
Oh, wow. You are not alone,
No.
Lisa. You know, that tree pollen is like off the charts.
Rough, yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. I know you said you had tried native honey. They say that's a good remedy sometimes for allergies. So I hope that works for you. Ocean City and Fenwick Island today at the beaches. Pretty good, partly cloudy. It's just going to be cooler. Lower 60s, Ocean City, mid 60s in Fenwick Island. Sea is pretty flat, around 1 to 3 feet. The wind's not that strong. In Lewis, close to 70 degrees, so nice weather to head up to Cape May on the ferry. Rehoboth looking at mid 60s for you. UV index is moderate, so have your sunscreen handy. 1 foot waves on the bay side. Cambridge today into the mid 70s. A little cooler in Crisfield with highs into the lower 70s. Then the weather does sour a little bit into the weekend. Shower chances Saturday, but improving conditions on Sunday. Much more on your forecast in the next half hour.
Hey Bob, parades, festivals, and flower petals. We've got your Delmarva weekend plans covered for the Ocean City Inlet to the Delaware State Fairgrounds. CoastTV reporter and anchor Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
It's time to welcome warmer weather, and you can do that at SpringFest in Ocean City all weekend long. Live music, art, and delicious food are all part of the weekend-long celebration at the OC Inlet. The Bug and Bud Festival is back in Milford from 9 to 4 Saturday. This year's festival promises a day of entertainment, local vendors, food trucks, and the People and Pet Parade. Fort Miles Museum in Cape Henlopen State Park celebrates Defense Day Saturday with historical reenactments and firing demonstrations. Also on Saturday, Sussex County Libraries bring the Beachside Book Festival to the Rehoboth Beach Convention Center. And an annual tradition is back in Lewis Saturday morning, the Tulip Dig. It begins at 8 a.m. sharp at 27 gardens around the city. Participants should bring gloves and bags, get your tulips, and bring them home. And the DSN Expo continues Saturday from 10 to 4 at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. It goes rain or shine. It's a free family-friendly event and your one-stop shop for everything outdoor. You can find all the details on CoastTV.com under Cool Things to Do. For Coast TV News, I'm Christina DeRobertis.
Now on Coast TV News.
Teen charged in massive wildfire, what we're learning about the Garden State blaze. Parking price debate talks continue in Fenwick Island as the start of the paid parking season is right around the corner. SpringFest in full swing, a look at day one of the festivities in Ocean City and the dollars it brings in for vendors.
The weekend's on a dry and mild note for Delmarva, then showers likely for Saturday, improving conditions Sunday and cooler. Complete forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. It is 5:31 on this Friday morning, and we're going to bring in first alert meteorologist Bob Trihey to tell us a little bit about our forecast. It was beautiful on Thursday, Bob. No pressure.
Well, good morning to you, Elisa. Good morning, Delmarva. There's always a little bit of pressure, and it's Friday, so we're excited about that. And we're looking at temperatures still pretty cool out the door. Not as cold as yesterday, but mid-40s from Salisbury to Dagsboro, 48 in Georgetown, 46 in Harrington as they are preparing for the DSN Outdoors Expo today. 57 Ocean City and 50s up the coast from Bethany Beach up to Lewis right now. The winds are calm, but the tendency is coming out of the south as high pressure is beginning to slide away. So we're starting to add some more moisture to the atmosphere, and it's going to warm up today too. We're looking at some high clouds floating through, just some mid to high level clouds. Otherwise, we're looking at a pretty decent day as high pressure sliding away. But you can see from New York down to Norfolk and Delmarva, all enjoying mostly clear skies. But then you go farther to the west and you see showers, nothing organized, but from the Ohio Valley to the Tennessee Valley, seeing some showers here, and eventually those will push our way. But it's going to take a while for them to get here as we keep it dry today. So we've got 40s out the door early on, and then a quick warm up through the 60s. Some of those mid to high level clouds every once in a while, and then by noon we're well into the 70s inland areas, but cooler at the coast. I think it could be a little warmer than 50s here. I'm thinking low 60s, many coastal areas. But then you go inland and it's 80 in Seaford and 78 in Georgetown. And heading out this evening, still pretty pleasant with 60s and 70s. And heading up to Cape May on the ferry, looking pretty good. The winds are calm. The seas are pretty flat. Temperatures in the 50s this morning with partly cloudy skies, and then 60s later this morning, mid 60s by 10, and maybe even close to 70 a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Today marks 4 years since Delmar Police Corporal Heacook was attacked in the line of duty. It happened while he's responding to a fight in progress. He was then beaten and taken to a trauma center in Baltimore with significant head injuries. Ultimately, he was taken off of life support. The man convicted of killing him, Randon Wilkerson, was sentenced to multiple life sentences in 2023. It's important to note that the Delaware Supreme Court has denied an appeal for Wilkerson. Now, Heacook Fest is held in April every year to honor the fallen officer. Heacook Fest features live music, fun activities, and raises money for nonprofits Operation We Care and Behind the Lines. It takes place today at 5 p.m. in Delmar. And happening today in Fenwick Island, discussion and possible action on parking rates in the town. This is taking place at this morning's town council meeting. According to the agenda, officials will review hourly and daily rates. The Finance Committee has been discussing a proposal to decrease their seasonal pass prices for certain businesses. This is to help employees park closer to where they work. Council members will gather at 11 a.m. And town officials will also gather in Bethany Beach. According to the agenda, a vote to approve the purchase of a new vehicle for the police department could take place. Also, officials are considering allowing exercise classes on the beach during the summer season. And there will also be a special election on May 24th. Voters will decide whether or not to borrow money for the construction of a new water clarifier. And this is the 34th year of Spring Fest, bringing hundreds of people to Ocean City. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us all the fun you can find inside.
Music, foods, vendors, and thousands of people here at the 34th Annual Spring Fest in Ocean City. And Dave Cornelison and his family are loving every second.
The favorite part is all the different crafters. Of course, my wife loves it. Yes. And my sister-in-law and husband, we always come together.
On Thursday, Springfest opened its doors for free in Ocean City. Inside, you can find hundreds of different and unique items to buy, like wind chimes, jewelry, clothing, and even custom-made fishing rods and pens. Owner George Newberger started works of art after the passing of his uncle, putting his ashes inside his fishing rod, something Newberger now does for others who enjoyed fishing with their loved ones.
So this is my Uncle Joe, and he would take me fishing when I was a kid. Unfortunately, Uncle Joe passed away. But whenever I take this rod fishing, I'm still fishing with my Uncle Joe.
After shopping around, you can enjoy all the savory foods Springfest has to offer, from the classic funnel cake to homemade jelly and jams. After grabbing a bite, it's time to dance your way to one of the two stages in Springfest, one inside and another on the outside. All this fun along the coast has thousands of people wanting to take part, which brings more revenue to Ocean City.
Got to bring in good money. Good for the economy, good for the city. It's a wonderful time.
If you want to check out all the cool things here at Springfest, you still have time, with Springfest having their last day, April 27th on Sunday. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
New this morning, Delawareans who wish to work with marijuana now have to undergo background checks. This after Governor Matt Meyer signed House Bill 110 into law. According to the bill, this includes people who want to work in, own, or help operate a licensed marijuana business. Governor Meyer says with the new law, Delaware will align with federal standards. And happening today in Dewey Beach, an expected groundbreaking for the town's new council building. Officials say the new building will be 3 stories with different departments on each floor. These include Dewey Beach's police force, Sussex County EMS, and all town meetings. The new building will just be feet away from the current building, and the EMS garage will fill the old town hall location. Dewey Beach says between the state and county, they are getting $5 million in grants, and the town has over $2 million in reserves, which will go towards that project. And we are now taking a live look at the Vatican. As you can see this morning, people continue to file past the coffin of Pope Francis inside St. Peter's Basilica. Today is the final day of public viewing ahead of tomorrow's funeral and burial services. Tens of thousands have filed past his wooden simple casket, including the family of Pope Francis, kneeling emotional during their visit. Pope Francis is wishing to be remembered as shepherd and disciple.
I think it's not a mere historical decision. It's much more than that. It speaks about his humility. It's about how much he wants to trust himself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary.
Pope Francis called St. Mary Major his favorite Roman Catholic church, visiting after all of his overseas trips and more than 100 times during his 12 years as Pope. And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, Dover debates business help. We'll tell you what the city is considering as its downtown area currently undergoes major revitalization projects. And round one of the NFL draft ended last night. Meet the newest member of your 3 local favorite teams. In Bay Bridge, Better's Environment will tell you how officials say some parts of that bridge will contribute to marine life. Coast TV News Today will be right back.
5:41 on this chilly Friday morning, and we're looking at a little bit of haze right now in the Spicer Brothers camp. 45 degrees elsewhere. We're in the mid to upper 40s, so a cool start away from the coast. At the beaches, pretty much 50s from Lewis down Ocean City right now. As the winds are calm, but they'll be picking up out of the south today, and we'll be warming up. We're seeing some high wispy clouds. Otherwise, a pretty good looking day with a warm up as high pressure is beginning to slide away. Rain back to our west. That will start to slide in late tonight. For the kiddos at the bus stop, looking pretty good. Make sure they have a heavier jacket though. Dry and chilly. 47 with some high wispy clouds, and beautiful this afternoon. You can carry that jacket. The kids can. Dry and mild heading home, and 76. Remember, another way to get your forecast is the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Thank you, Bob. Today is Arbor Day, and Ocean City is celebrating by planting trees in town. The Town Beautification Committee will continue this tradition along with the mayor and council. It's the Tree Amendus program. The event begins with a presentation from the Color Guard. Then students from the Ocean City Elementary School will present poems and skits before getting to work. This takes place at the school at 9:30. And parts of the Bay Bridge are being sent away. The Maryland Transportation Authority says 145,000 square feet of the bridge deck panels are being sent to an artificial reef site. The agency says the parts from the east side of the bridge will help create a sanctuary for marine life. The agency also says it has planted 12 million live oysters to advance the state's clean water goals.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, the first round of the NFL draft is in the rear view. And if you didn't stay up past 11, here's what you missed from your local favorites. Georgia's Malachi Starks is coming to the Ravens. The All-SEC safety was Pro Football Focus's top player at his position. Now he gets to pair up with Kyle Hamilton and fill a big hole for Baltimore in the secondary. Over to Washington, more protection for Jaden Daniels. The Commanders went with Josh Connerly Jr. with the 29th pick. Connerly is a 6'5", 315-pound offensive tackle. He was a first-team All-American this past season and helped the Ducks pave their way to an undefeated regular season and a Big Ten title. And Howie Roseman and the Eagles went more defense. The defending Super Bowl champs traded up with the Chiefs to 31 and took Jahad Campbell from Alabama. Campbell grew up just outside of Philadelphia in South Jersey. He was a first-team All-SEC linebacker with the Tide. In return, the Eagles send pick number 32 and 164 to Kansas City. Here on Delmarva tonight, we've got Caesar Rodney girls lacrosse against Stephen Decatur. The Riders are rolling this season. The Camden Crew is 8-1 on the year, but their only loss did come to another Bayside school in Queen Anne's County. On the other side, Decatur tries to bounce back from a loss to the Lady Lions. The Seahawks are listed at 4-4 this season. Our coverage tonight begins at 5:25. That'll do for sports.
Coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 5:30, Stephen Decatur takes on Caesar Rodney in girls lacrosse. Then it's the final score at 10:30. And over on the DSN Plus app, along with that game of the night, here's your daily exclusives. At 11 a.m., Polytech faces the Charter School in Wilmington on the baseball mound. At 4 p.m., St. Michael's plays Pocomoke in softball. 4:15, Lake Forest hosts Odessa in baseball. And at 5:30, Caesar Rodney is at Stephen Decatur in boys lacrosse. And today in entertainment news, a big movie preview and a trio of honors. David Daniel has details in our Hollywood Minute.
In the 1600s, 6 artists hid a clue in their paintings.
Dad spent most of his life searching for it. What do you expect to get from the fountain?
my dad to get his recognition.
The game is afoot in the latest trailer for Fountain of Youth. John Krasinski and Natalie Portman lead the cast of the global adventure film from director Guy Ritchie. Fountain of Youth premieres May 23rd on Apple TV+.
Gladys Knight is going to be on the stage.
It's time for Clive Davis to take the stage. The iconic music producer and executive is set to receive the Legacy Award at New York's historic The Apollo Theater's Spring Benefit. Singer, songwriter, actor, and director Teyana Taylor will receive the Innovator Award at the benefit June 4th.
I was an art school student.
Harvey Fierstein has come a long way. He's won 4 Tony Awards, and now he'll receive a special Tony for Lifetime Achievement in the Theater. The actor and writer, best known for Torch Song Trilogy, La Cage aux Folles, Hairspray, and Kinky Boots, will be honored at the 78th Annual Tony Awards June 8th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Brightening skies out there right now. You can see that in Salisbury. Sun's up at 6:11, getting earlier and earlier, 45 degrees. A dry and mild end to the week, then a soggy start to the weekend for Saturday, but improving conditions on Sunday and a little cooler. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:49, and we're taking a live look outside at Salisbury University this morning. And Bob, it's been a pleasant week for college students walking on campus, but especially if you're on spring break, you have had some incredible weather.
Really has been nice. You know, we've been dealing with a very nice weather pattern, Elisa, and today is no exception as we're looking at a nice end to the work week. High pressure still hanging on today, so sunshine, dry and mild. I think we'll see an increase in clouds later in the day into this evening. Then we get into the weekend. I know it's not the best timing, but we've got showers. We need the rain with some scattered showers on Saturday. Will not be a complete washout, kind of hit and miss showers. Some rumbles of thunder with a front into the evening hours, so keep that in mind. And then Sunday is sunny and seasonable, breezy and cooler at that time. Speaking of cool, it's cool out the door this morning. 45 in Willards and Salisbury. Millsboro at 46, 49 in Seaford, 50 in Milton, 55 in Lewis, 54 in Bethany Beach, 57 in Ocean City. So a cool start to the day, but there will be a quick warm up today as we have light winds now. They'll be picking up out of the south and mostly clear skies. Just some high wispy clouds moving through. That's it, as high pressure still hanging on. So across the mid-Atlantic, you can see the clear skies now. But farther back to the west, we've got the clouds. We've got some rain across Ohio into the Tennessee Valley. Just kind of a smattering of showers here. It's going to take a while for this to move to the east, so we're dry today, and then that chance of rain tomorrow, as there is a cold front farther back to the west, and that will work our way as we go into this upcoming weekend, increasing the rain chances. But not today. Here's Futurecast this morning at 7 a.m. We're in the low 50s across the area. Some of those high wispy clouds floating through from time to time. By mid-morning, we're into the 60s away from the coast, but still hanging on to some 50s from Fenwick Island into Dewey Beach. By noon, we're into the mid-70s, around 77 Salisbury, 76 Millsboro and Ellendale. And then as we head into the 2:30 hour, we're looking at 80 in Seaford. So it's going to be very warm the farther inland you go this afternoon, while it's much cooler at the beaches. So kind of a big temperature gradient with temperatures in the 60s there. And then this evening, if you're out and about on your Friday evening, 60s and 70s, but bring a heavier jacket at the beaches where it will be cooling into the 50s, and maybe a little bit of fog coming through as we go through the overnight with increasing clouds overnight, increasing southwesterly flow. And we're looking at maybe some showers getting going around 4 a.m. and we're looking at that chance of some hit and miss showers as we go into tomorrow morning with a gusty southwesterly wind. Temperatures in the 60s. By 11 a.m. you see some of those showers near Millsboro, and then by 2 p.m. around Selbyville. So they'll be kind of hit and miss. I think we'll see some breaks too, and mild temperatures. In fact, by 5:30, if we do break into a lot of sunshine, mid to upper 70s away from the coast, 60s at the beaches. Then we'll have to watch for a line of showers, maybe thunderstorms Saturday evening as a cold front works through. Here's 9:30. Some of those showers and storms from Ocean City up to Bethany Beach could be accompanied by some heavy rain. And then that starts to move offshore, and then the northwest wind kicks in, and it gets a little cooler by Sunday morning. We're in the 40s, and with that wind feeling chillier than the actual temperatures on Sunday, which will top out into the mid to upper 60s. About a tenth to about 2/10 of an inch of rain, I think, with this system. And then Sunday through Tuesday, we're looking at lots of sunshine, highs into the 70s and 80s, and feeling summer-like by then with high pressure building in. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. Upper 70s today and tomorrow. Dry today, showers tomorrow, maybe some rumbles of thunder too, and then cooling off into Sunday with 48 the low, 68 the high, and then mild into next week. 72 on Monday, close to 80 Tuesday. Then our next shower chance, not a big one, comes Wednesday, and a high of 84.
Thank you, Bob. As downtown Dover prepares for major revitalization projects, city leaders are focusing on supporting the businesses already in place. Officials are considering a relief fund to help businesses manage rising utility costs. The proposed fund, capped at $75,000, would provide utility credits to businesses affected by the construction.
The idea behind this is not to overburden and possibly lose the businesses that we have in order to try to gain more.
And this proposal heads to the floor to be discussed and voted on by the whole council on Tuesday. And the time is now 5:53, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day is coming to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. On your screen right now is Gideon. Gideon is super sweet, playfully spunky, and a total love bug. He's cat friendly and loves to play with cat toys. And if you want to adopt Sunday or Gideon or any lovable pet, you can head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA. And of course, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen, scan that QR code at the top of your screen, and submit your furry friend to CoastTV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. The time is 5:57, and Bob, it is Friday. People may have some dinner plans tonight, so let's take a look at that forecast because people want to know, is it going to be beautiful out like yesterday afternoon?
I think so. I think we're looking at a good-looking day, Elisa, for your Friday, and for the Friday evening plans, too. I think we're in good shape. Here's a day-part forecast for the region. We're looking at partly cloudy skies. A chilly start this morning with temperatures in the 40s, and then a nice warm-up into the upper 70s by this afternoon. Of course, a little cooler at the beaches. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Well, it gets a little wet on Saturday. It won't be a complete washout, but showers in 79. It cools down into Sunday, 68. Some 40s at night, and then mild into next week. In fact, 84 by Wednesday. A few showers there, and then another shower chance on Friday, 79. Maybe a little cooler into next weekend, but after Saturday, really no big rain chances on the way.
All right, thank you, Bob. And coming up at 6, Delmar honors fallen officer. We'll tell you about the legacy of Corporal Keith Heacook.